fantasy, caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
Hey guys, how's it going? Underground Geek here. I'm going to talk about Old Man Hawkeye today, issue number 1. This is the best book that doesn't have to exist that I've read so far. It's got the same tone, the same action, and the same personalities as Old Man Logan. It's almost like they should have kept making Old Man Logan and then not change him into the Shield that he is now. It's the same thing that they do wrong with all the other characters at Marvel. They did it with Miles Morales. They can't leave something alone. They did it with Deadpool. They did it with the regular Wolverine. When something is good, they have to change it. And then they have to milk it once they change it for everything it's worth. And so now we have Old Man Hawkeye because everybody wants Old Man Logan back to the way he was before. And now you've bled Old Man Logan so dry that we don't even care about him anymore. He's in everything. He's in every book. So Old Man Hawkeye was pretty good. I liked it. You've got pretty good art. Like I said, it was a lot like the original Old Man Logan books. I don't like Mike Deodato's stuff. I don't like the way it looks like computer-generated 3D models. I just don't like that. Old Man Logan's doing that now, and I get used to it because it's almost like watching one of the new animes or something. But it's not nearly as good as this, where it's like hand-drawn. At least it looks like it's hand-drawn. So basically, if you want to know the premise behind Hawkeye, he's pretty much a hired gun now. He has no purpose. All the heroes are dead. Where have all the good men gone? And so that's what he's doing. He's just a hired gun. So he is actually guarding Hammer. It's the old, leader of Hammer Industries. He's guarding him on a transportation run to a different area, and surprisingly, it gets attacked. Well, it gets attacked by the former guy known as Progenitor. He's able to multiply himself, and so there's a bunch of him, and it's funny because he calls them inbred rednecks. But so they attack, and they way underestimate Hawkeye. He is old, also as well, but I mean they're old too. So when they attack him, what does he do? He attacks, he fights back and takes half of them out. And since this is one of those Elseworld stories, when they attack each other, they kill each other. So he kills most of them. I think only one gets away. But when he gets away, it's because he missed. And he never misses. So this was a problem. Well, that's where the story gets started. And so it's been 45 years into the future. Things are crappy. Nothing's good. And this is why I liked Old Man Logan. It was very finite, had a good tone, had lots of action, had lots of vengeance. And then you had to go and change everything. So now we have this Old Man Hawkeye, which is the same character. So anyway, so now he's going to see the doctor, Claire Temples. And as far as I know, I can't tell if this is Misty Knight or Misty Knight's kid or what it would be, because it says Claire Temples. I'm not full up on those characters, but it has a picture of Luke Cage there with Misty Knight. So I don't know if it's a sister or a kid or something, but she's pretty old, so she'd have to be either her or a sister. Well, anyway, he goes to see her, and he's obviously got glaucoma, and it's getting worse and worse. And he's only got like weeks until he's going to be blind forever. And for somebody that uses their sight for everything that they do, that's their best ability is their eyesight. He's literally called Hawkeye because he can see very well. She tells him to prepare. She tells him to get ready because you're not going to have your sight forever. So what does he do? He goes to see Logan. He goes to see Logan because he has some old scores to settle. And Logan, this is pre-Old Man Logan, so he is not the same Wolverine that he used to be. This Wolverine is the same one that got tricked into killing the X-Men, and he's not very much into any more fighting. He doesn't even use his claws anymore. So when Hawkeye goes to see him, things don't work out the way they want to, and he pretty much just turns him down flat out. So at that point, Hawkeye's pretty much on his own. So then he goes to see a young lady, which I'm thinking is probably his kid's sister. You know, not his daughter, but his kid's sister. And she's taking care of the daughter. And she's doing that obviously because, you know, Hawkeye is not really capable of taking care of her with all of his shenanigans that he's going through. So he goes to see her, and it's pretty funny because when he opens up the door, she's got a poster of the old Hawkeye, and she's like throwing darts at it. So obviously it's not going very well with their relationship. And then he pops in there, and she's like the cutest character I've seen in a while in a comic book. The hair, the makeup, everything. And so this is actually going to grow up. She's going to grow up to be Spider-Bee, which is pretty funny because she's going to grow up to be like literally a bitch. That's in her name, Spider-Bee. And so I'm thinking it's his kid and Spider-Woman's kid. I'm thinking that's the way it went. But anyway, so she is feeling very teen angsty. She says, "You here to give me one of your once every 5 years pieces of fatherly wisdom?" And he said, "I just wanted to, you know, I heard you got into trouble fighting." And she tells him that she protected some fat kids from getting bullied, but then beat up the fat kids because they were paying her to protect them, and they were holding out on her with the money. So she's become like some kind of bully herself. She's just like, she's using her Spider-Man abilities to just be a bully. So things aren't going good. She's not going to grow up to be a very good benefit to society. So at this point, Hawkeye is kind of sitting around thinking about things. He's having flashbacks of when Black Widow died. And then we cut to the one outlaw that got away from earlier. And he's not doing too well. He's bleeding out. He needs water. He's thirsty. So he goes to what he thinks is a little pool of water. And it turns out it's not a pool of water. It's actually the Venom symbiote. And I thought something was wrong with the Venom symbiote because the way they draw it, it's almost like it's mutilated. So I didn't really understand if maybe that's just the way they drew it. So anyway, it gets control of him. And it kind of, you know, it makes me sad because they overuse the Venom symbiote so much and stuff. Like, Venom's awesome, but it's like everything else Marvel does. They overuse it. They overuse him. They overuse Old Man Logan. They overuse the regular Wolverine, Deadpool. They use the same characters over and over and over for stuff. And I know that the Venom is in Old Man Logan's story because it's attached to a big T-Rex, which is like the coolest thing ever. But still, like, you know, ease up. So then we cut back to the crime scene, basically where he had killed those bandits, and the police are there checking things out. And that's when somebody shows up and he says, our guy took out 8 armed Madrixes with 8 arrows, then stuck around and in this desert heat dug each of them a grave. Who does that? And so they don't recognize him at first, but then when he takes off his hat, they realize that he's actually the marshal. And he says, that's because most people don't last long enough to have a conversation with me. That's why you don't recognize me. He says, but today is a lucky day for all of us, because Sheriff, that ain't the work of a bandit. This here's the work of something we ain't seen around these parts in a long time. This here's the work of a god dang superhero. Which is kind of funny that, because it's Bullseye, but it's kind of funny that Bullseye talks like a redneck, considering isn't he like English or something? I didn't think that he talked like that, so it's funny that he started taking up that accent like everybody's a cowboy. I don't really understand why everybody's a cowboy now. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But anyway, so that's pretty much where we end on like a cliffhanger, and then it, you know, has a preview for the next week. It says the quest begins, and so he's got some vengeance he's trying to get out. They're not telling us what's going on, but it's probably got something to do with Nat getting killed or Spider-Woman getting killed. So it's going to be very interesting. But here's the thing. It's a very good story. It's got a very good art. Very good book. But it doesn't need to exist. Why are they making all these books that don't need to exist? Why can't they just make the regular books good? Why can't you make the regular Hawkeye this good? We don't need old man Hawkeye. We've got Hawkeye. It just, you know, I know some people's going to be like, well, I like this book. Yeah, it's a good book. Where's regular Hawkeye? Obviously, you got the talent to do it because this guy is the Hawkeye. Just write him as the regular character. You know, it frustrates me that they do this kind of crap over and over and over to try to shell up a little bit of money. They're doing extra work. They're doing extra work when you could just have the regular books. It doesn't make any sense. But that's all I got to say. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell me what you think about this video. Tell me if I was onto something or if I was way off. But that's just, you know, that's my 2 cents. I like to let you know about the book. That way you can figure out if you want to read it yourself. It's a good book. I do recommend it, though. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Underground Geek out.